I moved into a new apartment thinking I'd finally escaped my past. But every night, something scratches from beneath my bed. This isn't a ghost story. This thing is real. And it knows I'm scared. Subscribe for more real horror stories that'll haunt your nights.
They say the safest place in the world is your bed. Warm. Familiar. But not mine. Because something crawled under it the first night I moved in. And it never left. After my divorce, I needed a fresh start. Found a one-bedroom in an old complex. Quiet. Cheap. Perfect. Moved in on a Thursday. Slept on a mattress on the floor the first night. But I still heard it. Scratching. Faint. Repetitive. Like nails dragging on the underside of the floorboards. I thought it was rats. Or maybe plumbing. Until I got a proper bed frame the next day. That's when it got worse. I was lying in bed, scrolling my phone, when I dropped it. It slid under the bed. I leaned down. And in the black space beneath, I swear, I saw fingers. Thin. Pale. Curling slowly backward. I blinked. Gone. I laughed nervously, told myself I imagined it. But when I reached under to grab my phone, the space felt colder than the rest of the room. And I could swear something brushed my wrist on the way out. At night, I started hearing things. A whisper. My name. Eli. Always just as I was drifting off. I checked under the bed every time. Nothing. But one night, I placed my phone beneath the frame, recording audio overnight. When I listened the next day, at exactly 3:18 a.m., I heard it clearly. Let me out. Followed by laughter. Not human. Not joyful. Just wrong. I stopped sleeping. Bought sage. Salt. Everything people online suggested. Nothing helped. Then one night, I woke up under the bed. I don't remember crawling there. Just waking up face down on the cold floor, cramped between dust and shadows. And as I scrambled out, something whispered from behind me. You're warm. I left that day. Slept in my car for 2 weeks. I confronted the landlord. Told him everything. He didn't even flinch. You've heard it too, huh? He said. Then he told me something I can't forget. Tenants who sleep on a frame hear it sooner. That space beneath, it likes that gap. One girl vanished. We found her phone under the bed, still recording. Just her breathing, and then chewing sounds. He handed me a crumpled photo. A blurry shot of someone crouched beneath a bed. Eyes glowing faintly. Not a human face. It looked like it was smiling. I moved in with a friend. Never stayed alone again. But the damage was done. Now, I check under every bed. Every night. I don't sleep near frames anymore. Mattress to the floor only. Because the landlord said one last thing before I left. Once it knows your name, it can follow you anywhere there's space. And lately, I've started hearing scratching again. Even here. Even now. Check under your bed tonight. Don't just glance, look. Because something might be waiting in the dark. And it already knows your name. When my 6-year-old started talking about a man under his bed, I thought it was just a phase. But one night, I looked for myself. And now I wish I hadn't. What I saw changed everything. Subscribe for more true-style horror stories that will keep you up at night. Kids say a lot of strange things. But when my son told me there was a man under his bed, I brushed it off. Nightmares. Imagination. I was wrong. Because something was under there. And it wasn't human. My son, Noah, is 6. Sweet. Curious. Sensitive. One night after dinner, he pulled me aside and whispered, Mom, the man under my bed says I shouldn't tell you. I smiled, rubbed his hair, told him it was just a dream. But he looked me dead in the eye and said, He doesn't blink. Over the next few nights, things got strange. Noah refused to sleep in his room. Started drawing pictures of a tall figure with long arms, wide eyes, and no mouth. One morning I found a note under his pillow, written in messy block letters. "Don't look under the bed. He'll know you saw him." When I asked Noah about it, he said, "He wrote it. For you." At 2:40 a.m., I woke up to my son screaming. Rushed into his room. He was hiding in the closet, trembling. Said the man was crawling out, but went back when I turned the lights on. I checked under the bed. Nothing. But the room felt cold. Like the air was thicker. Heavier. That night, I set up my phone to record. The next morning, I watched the video. At exactly 3:06 a.m., Noah sat up in bed. He wasn't fully awake. He turned slowly toward the camera and smiled. And then, a long, thin arm slid out from beneath the bed and rested gently on his foot. Noah never reacted. The arm retracted after a minute. Then, something whispered. It wasn't English. It wasn't human. I deleted the video. But I still remember the sound. That night, I stayed in Noah's room. He slept on the floor. I kept a flashlight. Stayed awake. At 2:58 a.m., I heard whispering. Coming from under the bed. It was my voice. Calling Noah. "Come closer. Mommy's waiting." I dropped the flashlight, crawled down, and lifted the bed skirt. And I saw myself. Curled in the shadows. Staring back. Wide eyes. Too wide. Mouth stitched shut. She reached out to grab me. I screamed, yanked back, slammed the bed frame against the floor. Noah woke up crying. "We don't sleep in that room anymore. Moved the bed to storage. Mattress on the floor now. Things have calmed, mostly. But some nights, I wake to find Noah sleep-talking. Saying things like, 'She's still under there, but now she knows you saw her.' Last week, he gave me a drawing. A picture of our house. And underneath, in red crayon, a figure crawling from every bed. Dozens of them. All of them, wearing my face. I don't know what I let in. I don't know if it's still here. But I know one thing for sure. Some monsters aren't imaginary. And once you see them, they see you too. Look under your child's bed tonight. Not to check for monsters, but to make sure the one down there isn't you." It was just one night in a roadside motel. But when I noticed the bed was bolted to the floor, and something underneath started whispering, I knew I had made a deadly mistake. Based on terrifying true events. Subscribe for more real horror stories every week. The motel was $42 a night. That should have been my first warning. But I was too tired, too far from home, and too broke to care. One night. That's all I needed. But something else was already in that room. Waiting beneath the bed. I was driving across Arizona, middle of summer, running on coffee and adrenaline. I found this place off a quiet highway. Sunset Pines Inn? One flickering sign. No front desk, just a box with room keys. Room 6. The carpet smelled like bleach and mildew. Walls thin. Bathroom rust-stained. But what struck me immediately? The bed was bolted to the floor. And there was a mirror. Facing directly at it. I lay on the bed scrolling through my phone. No Wi-Fi. No signal. I noticed something odd. The gap between the bed and the floor was just big enough to crawl under. But no dust. No trash. It looked cleaned. Recently. Too recently. Then I saw something in the mirror. From where I was laying, the edge of the mirror showed the underside of the bed. And for half a second, I saw someone's hand. Slowly pulling back. At 2:42 a.m., I woke to a whisper. "Are you sleeping?" I froze. It was coming from under the bed. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Just kept staring at the ceiling, heart pounding. Then the whisper came again, closer. "I'm awake now. You should be too." I grabbed my bag, my keys, everything. Tried to leave. The door wouldn't open. Chain lock was off. Knob turned, but the door wouldn't budge. I shined my flashlight under the bed. Empty. But the flashlight flickered. And for a brief second, I saw a face, upside down, staring back. Eyes milky. Mouth open too wide. Smiling. Then the bulb popped. Darkness. I crawled into the bathroom, slammed the door. Sat in the tub for hours until sunlight bled through the window cracks. When I came out, the bed had moved 3 inches. And the mirror was broken. Shards arranged in a word. Stay. I ran outside, found the manager behind the main building. An old woman with eyes that didn't blink enough. I told her what happened. She sighed and said, "Room 6 is a trap. It calls people. You're lucky it didn't keep you." I asked what she meant. She pointed to the ground beside the motel. Gravestones. 6 of them. All unmarked except one. Room 6. Carved beneath it. Beneath still lives. I never stayed in a cheap motel again. Hell, I barely sleep at all. Because sometimes, when it's late, when I'm laying in bed in total darkness, I feel the mattress shift. Just slightly. Like something underneath me is breathing. And sometimes I hear the whisper. You came back. Next time you stay in a budget hotel, check under the bed. Not for monsters. For the ones it's already swallowed. Subscribe for more true horror stories. New nightmare every week.